Hey team, welcome to Jointflows and thank you for visiting our website. So Jointflows is the leading revenue execution platform in the market, and we are really here to solve two issues, go-to-market issues. First one being that your revenue funnels aren't converting, and rightly so, because you're looking at a sales process or a buying process in a linear way with very rigid steps. It's very opaque because what the buyer journey actually looks like, according to Gartner, is something like this. So we speak about revenue milestone progression, we speak about revenue milestone management, and this is something that requires much more agility than you can get into your funnels using your typical CRM platforms like HubSpot or Salesforce. These milestones happen in different order, so it's not linear, which you can't see in these funnels, and it's actually much more complex than the simple 7-step process you get in these funnels as well. So how do you move the needle, and how do you move on to something that is much closer to today's B2B buying journey? Well, you reach out to RevOps, right? And that's where we see the first gate, because not only you're going to have a gate on how you create those more difficult workflows in Salesforce or HubSpot, because they only allow for linear workflows, a subsequent steps essentially in a specific order. But you also have a gate when it comes to skill sets and access to specific systems, i.e. the backend of Salesforce, the backend of HubSpot, where you can create those workflows. So RevOps, being stretched, has to make a decision and prioritize the requests from the departments leading into them, from sales, CSM, solution engineers, finance, legal, deal desk, onboarding, account managers, and obviously the C-suite, who is going to take priority over everyone else. And your typical revenue workflows are never set in stones. In fact, they evolve as your company grows or your company shrinks, as your product evolves and become more innovative, and as you build more integrations into more tools, they become more complex, less complex. So as soon as you start building these workflows in your CRM system, they often become obsolete. And what happens at this point in time? Well, you revert back to the typical way of operating, using spreadsheets to orchestrate teams, align team, understand what's happening, who needs to do what, or PowerPoint presentations, or email, or communicating on Slack, Teams, which is obviously extremely inefficient, time-consuming, and prone to error. And there are massive consequences to these two problems. The first one, at opportunity owner level, you miss your quota. A lot of deal slippage, unpredicted deal slippage, and a lot of unnecessary discounting to bring things in a timely manner. Supporting team, really hard to align and orchestrate, because as we said, a lot of systems are involved, they're not connected, therefore you have a really high overhead when you're actually closing deals, renewing deals, or implementing your solutions. For line managers, it becomes a nightmare to actually forecast accurately. You've got pipeline blind spots, and you rely on storytelling from your AEs, but you also have very poor playbook adoption, which are very poorly documented to start with and extremely hard to track and monitor. At CRO level, it's overall decreased sales performance with very poor predictability. We speak about inaccurate forecast roll-ups and higher churn, all of this unpredicted, which obviously burns credibility internally. At CFO level, again, it's a summary of everything else, but unpredictable revenue, non-revenue linearity, so you've got bumps in revenue generation, often is squeezed at the end of each quarter. Why this happens? Because you kind of have to do it, and it happens at a very high cost, and you've got a higher cost of acquisition. And at C-level, well, missed company targets. So what is the solution? The solution is Jointflows. We've built a revenue workflow engine, which is here to help you scale and break silos. How does it work? You can build those workflows autonomously. So you don't need RevOps. You don't need a specific skill set. You can build those workflows, orchestrate them, automate them, and more importantly, accelerate on your own, allowing for trial and error, allowing to test them, and allowing to deploy them and update them within a few minutes. It sits on top of a forecasting tool, which allows you for more control over the deals, more visibility into the deals, which results into a much higher level of predictability. And then on top of that, we've got 3 use cases that fits the platform. The more, the better. The use cases are free. We use a user license model, so the more use case you bring onto the table, the more performance you get out of Jointflows. When we speak about closing, we speak about a reduction in cost of acquisition, faster sales cycles, but a much higher conversion rate. For implementation, it's higher NPS because the speed to value for your clients is shortened, which means that the renewing conversations and the expansion conversation happens much earlier on in the life cycle, which decreases your churns and your overhead cost. It's higher NRR. So please get in touch if you feel these problems are relevant to you, and we will be happy to show you what we've got in place in order to address those issues. Thank you very much. Bye.